Welcome into Sports Idiot Nation. Today is Friday, December 5th, and we are going to tell you why it may not be till next year when the Oklahoma City Thunder lose a basketball game. Speaking of basketball, we'll tell you why LeBron James officially sucks. Also, when Dan Campbell listens to us, good things happen. We'll explain. And why college football is an absolute mess.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. By idiots, for idiots.
This is Sports Idiot Nation.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. Welcome back, sinners. This is Season 2 of Sports Idiot Nation.
Welcome in. It is 0 degrees right now for me. It is a Friday. I know it's cold in Tennessee as well. I know it's not 0 degrees. This is Sports Idiot Nation. We come to you every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Got lots to talk about. It's me and T.I. Let's start, T.I. Feeling my extremities. Like I said, 0 degrees. You know, we cancel school here. They can't even run the buses, dude. Can you imagine telling kids, oh, there's no school today. Oh, why? What, is it bad weather? No, it's not raining. It's not snowing. It's not doing anything. It's too cold, and we can't run the buses.
It happens,
cold, man.
It happens. It
Yeah.
happens.
On a Friday,
They don't mind
it's
it.
great day to
They don't mind
great day
it.
to not have school on a Friday.
Yeah. They're not going to wake up and be like, "Oh man, I was wanting to go to school today. That sucks."
Yeah, all good in the hood.
No, they're gonna pour their bowl of cereal and turn the cartoons on and live the high life.
They are gonna pour milk, but yeah, they're gonna pour milk in their cereal to the chagrin of you.
Maybe.
Who
Not all
uses
of them.
water.
Not all
Well
of them.
documented on this program that T.I. uses water in his cereal.
No, I don't use water. I don't use anything. I don't pour anything in my cereal. That's it. Water. Who would do that? Water. Hell no.
I don't know. Oh, I think maybe in my head I thought that's what it was. I don't know.
No. I just don't use milk. I just don't need it.
Pop-Tarts, bro.
Don't need it, man. Who needs milk in their cereal, man? Cereal's already there, ready for you to eat. You have to add milk to it to make me like it. You know?
I guess, bro. So we got a lot to get into, a lot of football stuff, a little bit of basketball. Let's start there with basketball because there's some interesting stats that I want to go over with you that are just like perfect for this show. Just like what I'm dumbfounded on some of this stuff. So the Oklahoma City Thunder, bro, it is just stupid. Like, no, they're such a team that no one cares. Like, okay, they're really good. All right, let's move on. And that's our segment about the Oklahoma City Thunder. No, like, you know what I mean?
They are
like,
boring.
it's just, I mean, I get it. They're good. And I don't have nothing negative to say, but now they're 21-1. And the one loss was to Portland by like 2 points at the end. They were up 20. They just accidentally fell asleep at the wheel and turned into a ditch, and they end up losing. That's it. But can you imagine if they were 22-0? Just the story that would be.
I mean, yeah, 21-1 sucks compared to 22-0. But you know, if they work a little harder, they might could achieve greatness. I mean, you know, they're on pace for 78-4 season. That's not too shabby. You know, The Warriors and the Bulls would appreciate that. But yeah, they are just boring to watch. They're in a boring city. Nobody really cares. Everybody kind of forgets about them. Oh, hey, look, NBA champs. Oh, MVP. Just another team. And they just keep dominating.
They're the Tim Duncan of winning as a team. It's just very weird. But it's remarkable what they're doing. So they won by 12 points a game last year, which was insane. Only the 96 Bulls in the history of their game were better. And then now they're winning by 15 points a game. So it's just unbelievable. Now, their schedule for these first 25 games historically has been one of the easiest schedules ever. And their schedule only gets tougher from here. But come on, you've already built the buffer of 20, 20 wins, 21 in 22 games is unreal already. So they're obviously running away in the West. It's just a race for second, but you have to talk about it at some point. They can't just keep winning these games and we just say nothing about it. You know what I mean? You have to.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, as boring as they may be, like you said, they got the formula. They've got the right players. Seems they've got a good coaching staff. And they're all young. Kind of scary to think about. You could have the most boring NBA team winning the next, 3 out of 5 championships.
We know none of the coaches' names. Like,
yeah.
Like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm sure they're great though. We just don't know.
Yeah,
Larry, Curly, Mo. We don't know.
Top to bottom, they're great.
Just some stand-up group.
Across the entire league of coaches, they certainly are some.
They're there. There they are. They exist. So, congrats. But yeah, we'll see. The other
we'll check back in with them when they're
kind of
42-2.
Yeah. Right. That'll be another show for sure. The other stat that I thought was just wild was the first time in like 1,200 games that LeBron James has not scored double-digit points. I remember the first time I heard that Michael Jordan only had like 8 points or whatever. It was like the biggest deal. Like I felt I was not a kid anymore and I had reached adulthood. Like, oh, when I was a kid, Michael Jordan was great, but now I'm an adult because he's only getting 8 points in a game. And now it's like LeBron, at post 40 is still usually getting pretty good numbers, and last night had only 8 points. So I guess he sucks.
Father Time catches
Undefeated.
Up to all of us. Yeah,
not
I mean,
us yet, at least.
LeBron James, just not a good basketball player. Wish that guy could have had a better career. He could have worked harder and had a better career, but he just couldn't stay focused. He might need to go to college for a year or two. Instead of jumping straight to the NBA.
Yeah, there's a bit from Jerry Seinfeld about flying in a plane and flying first class, and he says, there's a little bit about the airport community that I think we could all do without. Like when they close that first class, drape, they always look at you with that look. Maybe if you would have worked a little harder, I wouldn't have to do this. Close that curtain. Like, maybe if you had worked a little harder, LeBron, you'd have more than 8 points.
I mean, guy just really hadn't lived up to his expectations,
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually, when he retires in the year 2039, when he's waiting for his great grandchild to play with him, then that'll be a crazy show because we'll just have so many stats and things to compare to, and but it's still a while because his grandson isn't even born yet, as far as I know. So we got some time, but yeah, that'll be an interesting show because we can't have that yet. We can't have the LeBron versus Jordan. He's still playing. You can't do that. The guy's still playing. He could win 9 more championships or go to 9 more NBA finals and lose. You never know.
Probably lose, more than likely lose, but hey, it's still hard to make it there. So just got to work a little harder, LeBron.
Remember, he took Boobie Gibson, Danielle Marshall, guys, Mo Pete, guys like that, to the NBA finals in like year 2 or 3 or whatever it was. They got swept by San Antonio, but he had no business taking them to the finals, and he beat the Pistons, who beat the Lakers. Like, I'm not a LeBron apologist or a LeBron fan, but you do sometimes have to give the guy credit. He scored, what was it, an insane 18 straight points against the Pistons at their place in Game 5 of that playoff series. I
Yeah,
mean, that's insane, man. They're the NBA champs. They beat Kobe and the Lakers. They didn't just beat like the old refrigerator repairmen in the 40s, that some of these players, beat. They beat Kobe and the Lakers. That's who the Pistons beat. And they were ready to keep it rolling. And then LeBron beat them with
for
Boobie
sure.
Gibson. Like, I mean, dude, Jordan was getting
Antoine, I
swept
think I
by
think
Larry Bird.
Antoine, I think Antoine Jameson's on
Antoine
there.
Jameson might have been. Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Dude,
Of course
come
he
on.
was
These
there.
guys
Of course
weren't.
he was there. He was always there.
Anderson
But yeah,
Varejao
no, you gotta. I mean, of course,
looked like
man. You
Sideshow
gotta give him
Bob.
his
Remember his
props. I mean,
hair?
I kind of think the LeBron Jordan debate is kind of dumb. I think LeBron and Magic is a better comparison. I think Jordan and Kobe are a better comparison. You can't just Jordan and Kobe are different style of players than LeBron. LeBron's a very gifted facilitator, and Jordan and Kobe were just scorers. And LeBron is not just a scorer. He can score because he's a freak of nature, but he'd much rather have 20 boards and 15 assists and 20 points than he would 50
Then he would have
points
50
and
points.
three boards and 7 assists. Like he much rather. How many times you've seen him at the end of the game, like he's not afraid to pass the ball off and let somebody else take the shot. Like I don't think it's a lot of people are like, oh, he's scared to take the shot. I don't think he is. I think he can draw a triple team and then he can dish it off to the guy that's open and trust him. Hey, that's the name of the game, right? You're supposed to trust your teammates. So I don't fault him sometimes for taking the final shot. There are other times it looks like he has no interest in it, and that's kind of questionable. But, other than that, I mean, I think the debate's kind of stupid. It's played out. It's like, Jordan was the best in his era. But, I mean, if you watch interviews with Michael Jordan, he's like, I never got to play with Bill Russell. I never got to play with this guy. It's like, he's like, I never got to play with, Jerry West. It's like, how do you say who's the best of each generation? You really can't. I mean, Steph Curry is in there. He's in the conversation. He dominated for 10 straight years, so I mean, he could be considered just as if, I mean, maybe he doesn't have all the I guess, longevity that LeBron has at this point. But I mean, come on, man, he's made a fool of LeBron many times. So, I mean,
Right.
all that stuff's up for debate. And to the way I look at it, man, there's just a bunch of good players that have different skill sets from the next. And I don't think that argument will ever be settled. Because, I mean, we could be looking at freaking SGA with 7 rings here real soon. We could be looking at Wemby with 3 or 4 rings before he's 30 years old. I mean, that's the beauty of the NBA. It's ever changing.
So wait and see. So, all right, let's shift to the foosball and get into college. I want to first start. We were talking about this before the show. The ACC is a mess, and it makes college football a mess, and it makes this whole thing a joke when you start expanding to get more teams involved in the college football playoff. You get more, like, I get what you're trying to do, but you have to change how these things are set up, because here's what's going to happen tomorrow is Duke versus Virginia. And I first of all, I'm going to say that one more time. Duke versus Virginia is the ACC championship. Is this basketball? Is this like, okay, I'm in. I'm actually in for this. Oh no, it's football.
No, it's football.
And,
Whoops. Wah, wah. Yeah.
so
I
if
mean,
Duke wins, I just don't. If Duke wins, you're gonna tell me we expanded the playoff to have 12 teams, to have all these teams, more teams. Yes, let's get all these teams in. And you're telling me that no team from the ACC, this isn't the Sun Belt, or this isn't, whatever Hawaii's in, or like, whatever. This is the ACC. Like, come on, you got Clemson, Miami, like these teams. And I get, okay, Clemson wasn't good this year, but I'm just saying, like, come on, you have to have a team from that conference in the top, for the college football playoff. And if Duke wins, as they are 7-5. So I'm gonna pull up Duke's schedule real quick. So Duke is, like I said, 7-5, and they lost 45-19 to Illinois. They lost to Tulane. I don't care what the score was. They lost to Tulane. They lost to Georgia Tech. They lost to Virginia already, who they're playing 34-17. I mean,
that's exactly what the college football world need, a rematch of Duke versus Virginia.
They lost to Connecticut, dude. I'm not even going to call them UConn. In football, they're not UConn. In basketball, they can be UConn. In football, they're just Connecticut. They lost. They gave up 37 points and lost. They only beat North Carolina 32-25. That checks out to be a one-score game. So they only beat North Carolina, who was terrible. North Carolina was 4-8. Bill Belichick only won 4 games this year, and Duke barely beat them. So, I mean, Duke is 7-5. They have no business. They're not ranked. You can't have a non-ranked team going into your championship game. That's just not appropriate. Dude, come on. How did this happen? So it's just all bad. I hope Duke wins so that
great if it was March,
we can,
if it was March Madness, it'd be great. But this isn't March Madness.
Yeah. No, this is December sadness. So I really hope Duke wins, because then it could just be boom, punch in the face to all these people that are calling the shots in college football to say, this is obviously broken. What else do you need to happen to show that? You know what I mean? So that's going to be hilarious, I think. And then you have, I guess, let's go over in the Big Ten. This is going to be, would you say, and I know I get by default you're not a Big Ten guy, I get that, but you're a sports guy, you're a college football guy, you get the gravity of this. And Ohio State versus IU, this is, number 1 versus number 2. I get that it doesn't matter, in that Miles talked about this, that if IU loses, based on how things are going to work out, they may get Ole Miss. And that's the team you want to play with everything that they're going through. So if IU loses, it may not affect them really negatively at all. And Ohio State's not going anywhere. As a 1 seed, if they lose only to the number 2 team, it's not like they're bounced out or anything close. They'll be just fine. A lot of people still will hold them as one of the top teams, even if they lose. Which, first of all, let's think through this. Can you imagine if IU wins? Just for bragging's sake? It would be in a few years if Auburn... Now, Auburn's been a football school, I get it, but they've been down. But if Auburn, let's say, was the only team that was undefeated and they beat Alabama in the SEC championship game, wouldn't that be a little crazy right now? That's what IU's doing. For
sure. Yeah. And they've got a high-powered offense. So, all it takes is you just got to jump ahead and play some defense. There's no reason why Indiana can't win that game. Ohio State is still a juggernaut, but come on, man. Anything can happen.
So here's some of the stats for IU. Let's get into IU first. Total yards, they have per game 483, which is 5th. Passing yards, nothing to write home about. Right under 250, and that ranks 36th. But rushing, they're ranked 9th. and they have about 230 yards per game. And then points. They're third in the nation at 44.3. So that's what I'm interested to see, because we've talked about Ohio State's defense, because they have an NFL type defense. And Ohio State has shown, even against Michigan. I know Michigan wasn't as good this year, but look, last year they weren't either, and they won. So like that game against Ohio State. So Ohio State's defense, I think, is going to be huge. But on defense for IU, they only give up 250 yards per game, which is fourth. They only give up 79 yards rushing, which is second. And they only give up 10.9 points per game, which is second. So all this talk about Ohio State and IU has great stats as far as defensively. So that's what will be really interesting. Now, Ohio State stats. Total yards, they're 24th. 438 yards. Passing yards, they're 21st. Rushing yards, they're 53rd. Nothing to really write home about. 37 points per game. But their defense, they rank first in total yards given up and first in passing yards given up. Get this, 103 yards passing per game. Dude, that's fake. 100 yards. Yeah. That's the length of a football field. Tough. That means your average drive size, your average drive in football, if you start at anywhere from the 20 to the 35, your average drive is what? 60, 65 yards, 70 yards, right? You're saying that if you get that one pass, you're only getting 30 yards the entire rest of the game. That's in 4 quarters. That's impossible, dude. So, I mean, it's unreal what Ohio State. Yeah, dude, that is some nasty defense. I'm excited to see, these two guys who we talked about earlier before the show, as well as we talk about Heisman candidates later. We'll get into that because we still got a ways before that is announced. But they have all the stats. Like, the Heisman Trophy technically has already been won. They're just not going to tell us until December 13th, right? So all the stats are in, and it'll be interesting to see what these Heisman candidates do against these defenses, and really with Mendoza at IU against this defense, because this Ohio State defense, so rushing yards, they're no slouch, 81 yards, which is good enough for 4th in the country. So they're first in the country in total yards and in passing on defense, and they're so terrible as they're 4th with rushing. So it's like Mendoza's going to have his hands full. They're only giving up, which is good enough for first, 7.8 points per game. They're only giving up basically a touchdown. So
that's pretty crazy,
dude,
pretty wild.
They're averaging 37 points and giving up 7. So their average score is 37-7. That's Ohio State. Now, I know some of those games were against like Our Lady Peace, or isn't that a band, Our Lady Peace?
Doesn't matter. Either way, law firm, band, school.
So they win like 70-0. I get it, but hey, you're still playing the Big Ten. You still played some decent schools. They beat Texas in week 0 or week 1, whatever that was. And basically knocked Texas out, which that's also funny. So you get penalized for scheduling a good team, and now you have too many losses if you're Texas. But all right, so
I mean, that's Texas'
Ohio
fault.
State.
Texas should have stepped up. Texas should have stepped up.
Blame Matthew McConaughey. So, all right, IU Ohio State. Who do you have actually winning the game?
Oh man, I don't want to curse. I don't want to curse IU. I'd love to see them win the game, but I feel like if I say that I expect them to, then they definitely won't. And I mean, I kind of feel the same way about the Michigan Ohio State game. I just felt like
you wanted Michigan to win.
No. I mean, well, I think we all like seeing Michigan beat Ohio State. I think we all found enjoying that. But I just felt that Ohio State was going to win, and I kind of feel like the way that things are headed, that Ohio State's probably going to win this game. And maybe that happens. Maybe it works out better for Miles. Like you said, they get to face Ole Miss when they've got fill-in coaches. Lane Kiffin's trying to coach them. They're like, nah, get out. We don't want you around here. Head on down to Baton Rouge. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I think I'm going to have to say I think Ohio State wins as much as I want to see Indiana win. I just think Ohio State's going to get them. That defense is just crazy.
Yeah.
The red curtain. Call it the red curtain.
The Curse of the Red Baron, or what was that Batman in the animated series? What was that movie?
Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh, was that it? I thought.
Yeah.
No, the Red Hood. No, the Red Hood.
Oh, the Red Hood. Yeah. There's one of those, but it was
Batman. Yeah.
Yeah, it was much later. The one that came out when we were kids was Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah. I'm thinking later that came out. The Red Hood, which ended up being Robin, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of them, Jason Todd, I believe.
That freaked me out. I remember watching that, and that freaked me out. Like, no. So, here's one for you. This is later today, so this has to be talked about, and that is Kennesaw State versus Jackson State for the Conference USA Championship. I'm kidding. I don't care.
Kennesaw.
We don't have to talk about that. Who you got? Alabama, Georgia, and does it matter? Because if Alabama loses, they will be 10-3. But look at who they lost to. I mean, they lost to a number 3 Georgia team if they lose. So it's like, do you penalize them? And again, they can say it's not about TV money and whatever, but come on. You have to make more money if Alabama is in.
Sure.
Right?
Of course. Well, without a doubt.
Then they're in. Then they're in, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they'll be there. Of course they will. Who do I have in the game, though? Oh, man, I think God, Kirby Smart's just on this roll, man. He's just hard to bet against. I know it comes down to the players, but it also comes down to experienced coaches. Kirby Smart's ass seems to always figure out a way to get out of, anytime you think Georgia's on the slide or on the slump, they're going to lose a couple games this year. They're going to be out of it. At the end of the year, they're always right there in the mix every damn year, So he's kind of like, he's got that Andy Reid mentality. Like, he's always going to keep them ready to play. He doesn't really keep a leash on them, as we know, because they're getting in a lot of trouble down there. But as far as tapping into the talent that he has, I think he gets the most out of his team outside of maybe, Ohio State, considering that both of those squads are just full of future NFL players. So yeah, I think Kirby Smart and Georgia is going to win the SEC. I think so. I think they beat Alabama. Alabama struggled against. I mean, their losses, they've struggled. The most recent wins that they've had, 4 or 5 of them have been against teams that aren't doing very good, and they're only winning by 1 score. Auburn included. I know that was the Iron Bowl, but still, they did not put up a good performance that leads me to believe that they're about to beat Georgia. Gunnar Stockton, I think, is probably going to rise to the occasion, do what he needs to do. He's pretty boring, but he's, gets the job done, man. Gets out there. He's surgical to some degree. Doesn't miss a lot of open receivers. So I don't know. Ty Simpson, looked a little all over the place last week. So we'll really see there. Who I guess wants it more. But yeah, my gut says Georgia.
Yeah, I think Georgia wins too, and I think Alabama ends up staying in the top 12. They just
for sure.
Well, and I guess it could depend on. So BYU is 11 right now, and they're 11-1, and Texas Tech they play is 11-1 and number 4. So if BYU loses, then you could easily keep Alabama in because of that. But if BYU, I don't know what you do if. I mean, I really think Texas Tech is gonna win, but
yeah, they should. They should. But yeah, you're right. You never know. If BYU is to win, oh man, you got a mess on their hands.
It's a
Figure
shakeup.
all that out.
It's a bit of a shakeup.
I mean, they're not going to be like, yeah, we're going to leave Alabama out over BYU. That's just not going to happen. So they'll have to figure something out if BYU was to win. Oh, guess what? We automatically expanded the playoff to 16. Now Vanderbilt's in here too, and they would figure
Miami,
something out.
Then somehow Miami,
yeah, we already had it ready to go in case of emergency. Break glass,
Yeah, that would be hilarious. Yeah, I'm for that because I do think Miami deserves. I'm not a Miami fan, but I think they deserve to be in, and it's just laughable again talking about the ACC.
It really is. Really is. They do definitely deserve to be in, but they're not at the moment.
We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. We'll have plenty to talk about. Let's shift to the NFL. Before I do that, I want to remind you, head to the link that is in the description for all things Sports Edit Nation. Make sure to follow us on social media at all of our Cineverse. We have a lot of options to choose from wrestling to football to hoops to film, you name it, Ninja Turtles. We have an Idiot Nation for you and your favorite idiots. So as we shift to the NFL, so last night was a weird one in that I talked about this over being thankful and grateful that the Cowboys are like good enough where like you had Colin Cowherd, the what comes on after Covino and Rich, all these people picking the Cowboys and so nonchalantly like, yep, I got the boys +3. You like just like okay, next thing. Who's going to win the Heisman? They just like moved on from it. And I'm like, why are you picking the Cowboys on the road? Like they ended up losing by 2 touchdowns. I know it was like kind of close at the end, but the defense stepped up for Detroit, and it's not Dak's fault. I wish it was. I wish it was Dak's fault. It'd be more fun.
I think when CD Lamb got hurt, that really changed things up because
dude, his head.
Then you're one dimensional there with George Pickens, and yeah, of course Jake Ferguson. But I mean, they're already utilizing him with both the receivers out there. So when you really can just double up or triple on George Pickens, doesn't leave you a lot of options. Turpin and some of those other guys aren't really going to get it done. Javonte Williams had a decent game, but I mean, he does that every game. He's having like a career year. It's funny how a lot of these guys, George Pickens is having a career year. Again, we joke about him a lot, but it all comes down to the guy throwing the ball, Mr. Dak Prescott. He gets a lot of shade because of the team he plays for, but I'm sure there are behind the scenes, there's a lot of GMs that would love to have Dak Prescott on their team.
Yeah,
I know the Titans would be one of them. I'd be with Creed, arms wide open. Come to me. Come, Dak Prescott. We have a home for you here. We won't boo you like Dallas. Take that back. We will boo you, but
this was more about the fighting Dan Campbells, and it is our turn to finally say, T.I., we told you so. Guess what the going for it on 4th down numbers were for the Dan Campbells last night? Do you want to take a guess? Do you know?
Before I stopped watching towards the end, I thought that they hadn't went for it on any 4th downs. I thought they kicked on all their opportunities. Did they go for any?
And there you have it, 0 for 0. And they had 3. Now keep this in mind. They won by 2 scores, 14 points. They kicked 3 field goals and got 9 points. Now, let's do the math and subtract that. And if the Cowboys are towards the end of the game only losing by that 1 score instead of 14, that is a much different game with Dak Prescott.
Absolutely.
I hate admitting that, like, giving Dak any credit, but I like my chances when you're only down by that amount. But they were down by 14 points in the final 2 minutes or whatever. And they were just stat padding, and that's fine. And that didn't even work out because Dak threw a pick, which again is not on him. He's just trying to force it. I don't care about those types of picks at end of games.
Sure.
But it's like it's almost as if Dan Campbell is tuned in to Sports Idiot Nation, because I don't know where else it would have came from.
Yeah, when he gets done with his shift at Applebee's, he always pulls us up on YouTube and watches us,
CJ Stroud as well.
Yeah, CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud might be there in a few years.
He's the server on that commercial, and Dan Campbell's like the manager. What kind of shift?
Yeah.
Who's cooking the food? Like Wayne Fonts? Who's back there cooking? I don't know. But
yeah, who the hell he really eats here? What's going on?
Well, I would. That 2 for $20 is balling. But yeah,
bottomless Dollaritas. Yeah, Applebee's Dollaritas.
It's funny how when you play the right way, you still drop 44 points, and you still win by 2 scores, and you didn't have to you're not playing Madden, you didn't have to be cute, just play football the way it's supposed to be played, and it does help having Sonic and Knuckles do their thing. That does help.
For sure.
But here's what really helps. Doing the right thing when you're supposed to do it. Like,
you don't put the pressure on your defense. They play a little loose.
Like, come
on. They don't feel like it's all on them. They're not, giving you the side eye out there. Like, hey man, that's your 4th time you've went for it instead of just kicking the field goal. Maybe next time with the 5th and 6th tries you can. So yeah, he definitely tuned in to our recent episodes, and kudos to Dan Campbell for doing the right thing. Proud of you, Dan, for tuning in and getting a lesson from the idiots on how to coach your football team.
So I will say what helps is Detroit had 0 turnovers. Dallas had 3 points off turnovers. Obviously, Dallas was 0 because they didn't receive any. But Detroit got 14 points off those turnovers, and that's what they win by. So that obviously told the tale of the tape. So the Lions now sit at 8-5, and the North is definitely action-packed with the Packers and Bears to play. Let's dive into this week's games now, and it's going to be interesting because we talked about the NFC North. Now I think we all had Minnesota and Chicago flip-flop as far as not necessarily that Minnesota would be first, but they wouldn't be last and that Chicago would be last. And obviously that's not the case. But this Bears-Packers both have 3 losses. The Bears have 9 wins, which is more simply because, remember, they have that tie. The Packers have that tie, so they're 8-3-1. The game is at Green Bay. This, for a football fan, is probably, it's almost like I wish that Aaron Rodgers was with the Packers. Because the game's in Green Bay. We know what would happen if it was in Chicago, because I think he was like 18-0, something goofy in Chicago.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be good.
Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be a great game. I mean, Green Bay coming off a big Thanksgiving win. they've got some momentum going. Now they're going up against the Bears, who have the top seed in the NFC right now. So, I mean, how can you not get up for that with it being a home game? So, I mean, they have an opportunity there to really shake things up. The whole NFC is a little wild right now. AFC is a little more tame. We see the, Patriots kind of running the gauntlet there. They look tough to beat. But in the NFC, I mean, yeah, Broncos as well. But, I mean, the NFC every week, it's like, it's the Lions. Nope. Oh, it's the Eagles. Nope. Now it's, the Bears. What? The Bears?
The Bucks for a second. The Bucks for a second was kind of
looking good. Rams, we were all in the Rams. Now we're like, I don't know, man, Stafford threw a couple picks. I don't know, maybe he's human after all. Seahawks are putting up insane numbers on defense. So, I mean, the whole NFC is wild right now. I mean, the NFC North and the NFC West are like the two best divisions in football this season right now. I mean, you've got, 3 teams in the West right there competing. Your Niners are still putting up a fight. Obviously, you got the Seahawks and the Rams battling it out there. And then the NFC North, Lions, Packers, Bears, all still alive. Sorry, Vikings. Better luck next year for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So, here's something that's crazy to me. The way that the seating is going, what's weird is that the Bears are 9-3 and have the number 1 seed as of right this second. Friday, December 5th, that is where we're at, right? And the 49ers are 8-4, just 1 game behind that pace, and they're at the bottom of the barrel for the playoff seeding. They're the number 7 seed. What are we talking about? That is wild.
Yeah, it is wild.
That is crazy. And by not playing, the 49ers literally will improve their seeding automatically by not playing. So they have one of the latest buys. This is the latest buy that you could possibly have. There are no more buys after this week. And the way it's set up, this is nuts to me. No matter who wins between the Bears and the Packers, the 49ers will leapfrog one of them. And if both the Seahawks and the Rams, now they play teams that, as long as they don't play with their food, they should easily win, because the Rams play the Cardinals and the Seahawks play the Falcons. So they should both win. However, if they lose and the Bears lose to the Packers, the 49ers would be on pace for the number 1 seed. Like, dude, come on. That's not even real life. That's not normal for this late in the year to say that. No matter who the 1 seed is and the 7 seed. The fact that the 7 seed happens to be the 49ers, who I know a lot about and root for, that's just, okay, icing on the cake for me to talk about. But you have to admit, no matter who the 1 and 7 is, it's wild that it could just flip like that in a matter of hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, man. So the NFC, we talked about, we don't know anything. We don't know anything about quarterbacks. We don't know who's going to win the next game. We don't know. All the professional pickers, they all picked Dallas last night. Look, we don't know, okay? Stop asking us. We don't know. Just watch the game and shut up. Just have fun. It's the NFL. It's parody. It's awesome.
Yeah, just pay attention to what we say, like Dan Campbell, because we helped him get a win last night. So,
and definitely watch Shedeur versus Cam, because that is the matchup of a lifetime. Lifetime.
Man, God, it's a nightmare for Titans fans. It's total a lose-lose situation. It's like, well, we don't want you to lose to Shedeur, but we also don't want you to win the game because we want the number 1 draft pick. So, if you win the game, we're going to be mad at you, and we're going to just bitch and moan and complain. But if you lose the game to Shedeur, we're going to bitch and moan and complain and be mad at you. Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. The only good scenario for Titans fans is that Cam outplays Shedeur and still gets the loss, because they want the Titans to lose out. They don't want him to win anything, but they don't want Shedeur to run out there and outshine him.
3 tutties, no picks, 267 yards for Cam, and then no touchdowns, 3 picks, 120 yards, and you just give up 1,000,000 yards rushing to Judkins, and that's why they win.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's
then it's like, okay.
That's the only win scenario for Titans fans. They're like, well, he didn't outplay him, and he has a better defense, and he doesn't have, the million other excuses I've heard all season. The Jacksonville game last week was just pathetic. All around, not just they looked great the first drive. It's like, oh, look, they came to play. And then it was just like, like they got to the top of the roller coaster and just stalled out, just kind of sat there for a couple hours, But
so how many
we'll see what happens this week. Man. That's just the whole city will implode and just eat itself alive, Because there's all these people out there that are still, Shedeur Sanders should have been number 1 pick. There's a lot of Titans fans still saying that. That's asinine to even think about. The first pick is debatable, but the first pick should have never been Shedeur Sanders. That is not the answer to any question. It may be for the Browns for short term, but obviously, it's not a long term solution. Of course, stranger things have happened, but I don't see that. But it is a nightmare for Titans fans this week to have to endure that, or have to Shedeur that.
See what it is there.
Yeah. But it's going to be fun to watch, at least, because, it's going to have hype around it. There's going to be a lot of talk on the internet about it. There's going to be a lot of comparisons Monday morning. What do we think? And then went head-to-head. Did the Titans make a mistake? Oh, Cam Ward proved that the Titans did not make a mistake. What will the headlines be? We don't know. We don't know what those headlines will be just yet. But I'm sure that there will spark a lot of controversy, and hopefully I can drive up the algorithm with some bait and switch clickbait, posts out there on people. But
here's what else you can post about is in your division, Colts and Jaguars. Just for being a fan of football, you can at least appreciate. I know you have to hate both teams, but as a fan of football, this is a good matchup. It is a good matchup.
Yeah, Colts look to be on that slide. Jacksonville's playing good.
They're at Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jacksonville's playing good. Houston's playing good. It's the worst case scenario for the Colts. There's a scenario in play where the Colts might miss the playoffs, and it's like start off the season like that and then crash and burn. But you do got Daniel Jones out there playing with a broken leg, which is probably not recommended. He's like, I'm going to play through it. I'm like, how broken is your leg? How broken is your fibia if you're going to be actually out there trying to play through it? So, right. I don't know, if he's trying to, play the big man there and parlay into a big contract with the Colts for next season. But, that seems a little sketchy. I figured that Houston was going to win that game. And I think Jacksonville is going to win this game against the Colts as well. So,
yeah, I agree. There's just teams are on the uppity and teams are on the skid, and it's just obvious right now the Colts can't find it right now, and it's a bad time to choose to do that, but that's how it goes. It's the NFL. It stands for not for long. So hope you had fun, folks, while it lasted. I think it's done.
We all knew it was coming. We all knew it was a matter of time.
Yeah. We were waiting for it. We were waiting for it with Denver too. It just hasn't come yet. Maybe
you can't be relying on Jonathan Taylor to get you 3 touchdowns and 200 yards every game like that's sustainable. Colts are just out of this world offense, and it's like, Jonathan Taylor's putting up video game numbers. Let's see if you can do that every game, and see what happens when someone shuts that down. And we've seen it. Like Danny Dimes is serviceable, but he is not. He can't just take over a game. He doesn't have that ability. We've never really seen it. He doesn't have that Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or even Jared Goff type mentality. Matt Stafford. He just doesn't have it. That ain't him. So
right. He's not him. Who is usually, maybe not this year's, Patrick Mahomes. So the last matchup is, which we didn't think would be as great of a matchup, but the Chiefs officially, I feel like, need help moving forward, as they are at 500. They've won and lost the same amount of games, 6-6. And quietly, Houston kind of just had a bounce back year, 7-5. They've beaten some good teams. I don't know. This is the Sunday night game, so this is the matchup that everyone's going to watch. Now, it's in Kansas City. They're only expected to win by 3.5. I think they have a chance to win by double digits. I just think still moving forward, they need help.
Sure.
Do you see them winning this game? I mean, you want them because you don't like the Texans. I get that.
I mean, do I see them winning? I see them always the opportunity to win every game. Although it's hard for me right now to bet against that Houston defense because they are just the most dominating defense in the NFL right now. They made Josh Allen just look like an absolute rookie. I mean, you had him, they get 8 sacks on him, 5 sacks on him, I think, forced a couple picks. I mean, I was expecting that to be a much better game than it was. So why are we to assume that just because Patrick Mahomes is going to go in there and he's going to not put up the same kind of performance, So they've proved that they can already shake up the best QBs. So I gotta ride the hot hand, man. Houston seems like they're trying to. Like I said, Houston and Jacksonville both seem like they're trying to make life hell for the Colts. And the only way that they do that is to keep winning. So, my gut says Houston's gonna maybe put the nail in the coffin for the Chiefs. I mean, because the Chiefs, one more game. I mean, they lose one more game, like there's a chance of has to be like 5% to make the playoffs at that point. I mean, so
right.
I think Houston puts an end to the Cinderella run of the Chiefs. Chiefs are going to somehow probably lose a couple more games, wind up with like a top 10 draft pick or something, then screw us all for the next 5 years. Whoever they draft,
Pull a San Antonio Spurs with David Robinson. Then they're bad. Then they get Tim Duncan and screw everybody and get Manu Ginobili and
now they got Wemby and just keeps on going.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's always hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes, but man, I just got to ride that hot hand. And Houston looks hot. I mean, they're able to win 3 in a row with Davis Mills. CJ Stroud's back. They're still winning. I probably would have kept running with Davis Mills, but I know your franchise is Stroud, so got to put the team on the back. But I feel like Davis Mills was a little safer play because he knows his job is. CJ Stroud's out there, knows he has a little bit less of a leash, and he can, try to fit some balls in windows that maybe, Davis Mills would not, and they can rely on the running game more. But hey, I'm not an NFL coach, so good luck to CJ Stroud. But I think that defense can carry him. I mean, we've seen some teams win Super Bowls by just having an incredible defense, and Houston is that for sure. So I'm not saying that they are a Super Bowl caliber team, but anything happen, you get in the playoffs,
the defense
man.
Is, though.
Yeah. Oh,
right,
absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Historically, the Texans have not done it in the playoffs, but they've been through it. And we talked about this. Teams going through it, and Houston has. So this could be a year if they keep winning. Now, they're still looking up in the division, but it's looking good. And I like DeMeco Ryans, so I'm for it. I know you have to hate the Texans. I get that, but there's certain people that you can have respect for. I mean, Will Anderson, again, that defense. dude, is
Yeah.
legit. I saw it up close. I don't always play the Texans, but when we played them, it was over. Like, we had no chance. The time of possession in the first half, dude, was like they had the ball for like 23 minutes, and we had the ball for 7 in the first half. Like, they just dominated us, man. It was
Oh, I
bad.
know. Yeah, they've annihilated us a couple times. I mean, we had a chance the last game, but first game they just destroyed us. Last game, if you know, the offense could have did anything, but hey, you know, we're going to get against the Houston's defense, which is top ranked at the time then. So I mean, you know, can't knock that. But Titans are just terrible. Terrible Titans.
Terrible. What's not terrible is if you follow us wherever you get your social media. Remember, all over the cast of props to Cineverse everything. It all starts with our fearless leader, Titans Idiot Nation, of course, with the most followers. New episodes come to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which means we will see you Monday.
Thank you for watching this episode of Sports Idiot Nation. Remember, we are on all social media and on YouTube, and the podcast can be found on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Remember, new episodes are every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And remember, because you watch Sports Idiot Nation,
you would be the smartest idiot in the whole world.